and they could end up footing the bill.
An expressway crash claims the lives of 2 Chicago dancers. Now one family is trying to help others forever changed by the tragedy. Thank you so much for joining us at 5. I'm Tia Ewing.
I'm Terrence Lee. We have to get right to breaking news.
We do. Several people are hurt. This isn't a crash involving a CTA bus. Sky Fox was over the scene. This is right off of King Drive. The Chicago Fire Department telling us 15 people had to be taken to the hospital, including 3 children who were not seriously hurt. That's a little bit of good news in this, but the fire department confirmed one person is an adult who is in critical condition. This is what it looks like from the ground at that scene. You can see the front windshield of the bus has some serious damage. You can also see some traffic slowing down there. We know at least one other car was involved. Of course, we are working to learn more details. We do have a crew there now, and of course, we will update you as soon as we can right here on air and, of course, online as well.
All right, let's see what's up with the weather as we take a live look outside. Meteorologist Mark Strell is hanging out with us. Mark, I had to look up the meme because we just had the full spring. Then there was second winter. I think today was the spring of deception. So when's the third winter coming?
Third winter, not going to be here for a while because we're going back into, well, maybe we could go this weekend because we do have a shot of snowfall coming up Saturday and Sunday before we get into wet early spring, which is next week. I just made that last one up. 65 degrees at all of our reporting stations around the triad here from both of the airports to the lakefront. 65 degrees also at Woodstock, and we're in the upper 60s for our daytime high temperatures off to our south and to our southwest. Beautiful weather, even still rolling as we go into the late afternoon and into the early evening. Winds are pretty gusty. We've had winds gusting in excess of 25 miles per hour, but it's been sunny. And as we go through the evening hours, we're going to have fair skies. Temperatures right now continue to be in the 60s. Overnight lows, though, eventually down to around the freezing point. And I'll tell you more about that weekend forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. A man's now charged with murder after a robbery in Little Village where a father and son lost their lives. Police picked up Muhammad Thomas in St. Louis and brought him back to Chicago. They say he held up a shop on West 26th. Then shot 2 men. One was 63, the other 25. He's also, police say, tied to another robbery this year and a shooting last year.
All new tonight, family of one of the dancers killed on the Bishop Fort last week are trying to help all those who have been affected by the loss.
Leslie Moreno has more on the new coalition fund.
This has been a very traumatic incident for the victims, both physically and emotionally, which is why this fund was created to help those victims process all of this. Illinois State Police say that crash happened on the Bishop Fort Freeway last week. The SUV was carrying a group of 5 dancers when the driver lost control and flipped. 17-year-old Boaz, also known as Bo Flemister, and 25-year-old dancer director Lazarus, also known as Hollywood Gonzalez, were both ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other teammates were also thrown from the vehicle and rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Family tells us Bo and Gonzalez were passionate and influential figures in Chicago's dance community. They were mentors, performers, and friends to many. In the wake of this tragedy, Bo's mother is now creating a fund to not just assist with funeral expenses and medical costs, but to also provide emotional support services to the survivors who are now dealing with survivor's guilt.
They were all together that day at practice, and to turn around and they're no longer here in such a tragic death, my concern is mental. Even in this period, I've seen teenagers that have turned to alcohol. I can't handle this. I need to get something to drink to help with the pain. So in essence, if you don't deal with the mental aspect, you're ultimately going to have an alcoholic.
We do also have an update on those 3 other survivors. We're told 2 of them have been released from the hospital and are now at home recovering. They are expected to be okay. As far as the driver of that SUV, we're told he's still in the hospital in a coma. If you'd like to make a donation, we'll have all those details on foxchicago.com. In Chicago's South Side, Leslie Moreno, Fox Chicago.
Well, here's another story that we are following. Look at the numbers for yourself right there on the side of the screen. Chicago has gone 40 hours without a shooting. The most recent happened at noon today in the 8700 block of South Kingston Avenue. A 44-year-old man was shot in the head. Police say he is in critical condition. Before that shooting, the last one police reported was about 7:17 last night in Grand Crossing. A 29-year-old man was hit in the arm. He was taken to the hospital in fair condition. This means there were no reported shootings yesterday over the past 7 years. This has only happened about 7 other times.
4 decades, he stood on the front lines of change, preaching hope, demanding justice, and lifting up generations.
Today, Chicago remembers Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. not only as a civil rights icon, but as a father, a pastor, and a man whose faith never wavered.
God has blessed me. For there's never been a time in my life he didn't see me through.
It's a celebration of life for a man who dedicated his life to making the world around him better.
Reverend Jackson is one of the few men who become a symbol. All men and women don't become symbols. But when a man or a woman becomes a symbol of hope, a symbol of resilience, a symbol of compassion, we owe them not just to stop at admiration. We have to move to action.
Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. was a longtime member of the church led by Reverend Reginald Sharp Jr., Fellowship Chicago. He leaves behind a lasting legacy there, helping the congregation secure a permanent home and strengthening its foundation for generations to come.
Because Dr. King spoke at our church, we were delayed building that building 7 years. So it would ultimately be Reverend Jackson who says to Reverend Evans, hey, because I got you in this, I'm gonna help you get out of this. And he helped secure 3 loans from 3 banks to help us finish that building.
Jackson often worked behind the scenes, a selfless servant, always ready to uplift others and move the mission forward.
The Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr., we thank you for the work that he did. We thank you for his ministry. We thank you for the lives that he touched.
The impact of his life is unmistakable. Hundreds lined up this week to pay their final respects as the civil rights icon lay in state at Operation Push. Next week, his body will travel to his home state of South Carolina and to Washington, D.C., before returning to Chicago for final remembrances. Greeting visitors inside the church were Jackson's children, Jonathan, Ashley, Santita, Jesse Jackson Jr., and Yusuf, standing together as mourners gave their condolences.
What was that feeling when you saw Drexel Avenue just lined with people getting ready to pay their respects to Reverend Jackson?
I was very proud to realize that people appreciated him and remember him and what he have done.
A lot of emotion to finally see a great man have his rest. He's earned his rest. He served his purpose on this planet, and we're grateful that we had him here.
We definitely are. Monday, Reverend Jackson will lie in honor at the South Carolina State House, and then there will be a formal service in Washington, D.C. Wednesday. Next Friday, the public homegoing service will be held at House of Hope. That is right on East 114th Street. And then a private service will be held at Rainbow Push headquarters the following day.
All right, here's a question so many of you are asking. Who will win the rights to call themselves home of the Chicago Bears?
While Illinois and Indiana compete for the Bears, we're hearing from you about your property taxes.
Repaganski's live in Portage Park. Brad, affordability is still a huge concern, especially when it comes to property taxes.
That has become one of the most important issues, if not the most important issues for our viewers, and many are very concerned there could be unintended consequences if the Chicago Bears end up building their new stadium in Arlington Heights. So the mega project bill passed a major hurdle yesterday down in Springfield, passing an Illinois House Finance Committee 13-7. So it now moves on to the full House vote. Lawmakers are still in recess right now. So under this bill, it allows companies like the Chicago Bears to negotiate a payment plan to a taxing body instead of paying a traditional property tax and have its property valuation frozen for up to 40 years. And while many lawmakers on Thursday agreed that we should be doing everything they can to try to keep the Chicago Bears. There are concerns about shifting the tax burden on regular families and small businesses. So right now, in the bill, there are no guardrails to protect the bills, their property tax bills, from skyrocketing. So I spoke with Joe Angelastri, who owns the City News Cafe right here in Portage Park. And from this time last year now, his property taxes on his business went up more than 11%. He told me in just the last 8 years, it's gone up about 50%.
Well, these are insiders taking money from taxpayers. It doesn't make any sense.
Especially, you look at your property tax bill and you're thinking, how am I going to afford this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody else, we're paying commercial rates in Chicago. Effective rates are about 5% of the value of the property, which is some of the highest in the country. So we're paying, little stores like us are paying 5%, and they're going to pay not even a fraction of 1%. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so for people like Joe, and he's still worried about his financial situation here, but he said really two things could be true at once. You could be sad that the Chicago Bears could be either moving to Indiana or out of the city of Chicago, but he said you still have to worry about your property taxes, and he feels like it's not a level playing field when it comes to what the Bears are potentially getting as opposed to what somebody like himself is not getting. We're live in Portage Park tonight. Brett Bukansky, Fox Chicago.
Before you go, Brett, we got to talk next step on the mega project bill, and then are there any guardrails to protect taxpayers?
There is some encouraging news from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. When we heard that debate yesterday, it seemed like there was an appetite to put some guardrails in place to make sure people like Joe's property taxes don't skyrocket even more, because right now in the bill there are no guardrails in place. So certainly from hearing from lawmakers, it appears that this bill in its current form is not going to pass. So it appears that there's going to be more work that needs to be done in Springfield when it comes to that mega project bill.
We will be watching closely. Thank you, Brett. Still ahead on the news at 5, you can find some good deals at the fashion outlets right in Rosemont.
But first, you're going to have to cough up some money just to park.
And former President Bill Clinton is testifying on his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
privacy we can't trust.
Welcome back. Former President Bill Clinton is under oath today. He's telling a congressional committee what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton testified yesterday. As Rebecca Castor reports, Democrats want President Trump to answer questions next.
Behind closed doors at a performing arts center in Chappaqua, New York, former President Bill Clinton is facing hours of questioning by lawmakers looking into Jeffrey Epstein's sordid past.
President Clinton, as of right now, is cooperative and answering all of our questions.
Lawmakers plan to ask Clinton about photos like this, his frequent visits with Epstein at the White House and flights on his plane. In a statement shared on X, Clinton says, "As someone who grew up in a home with domestic abuse, not only would I not have flown on his plane, if I had any inkling of what he was doing, I would have turned him in myself."
I don't like seeing him deposed, but, you know, they certainly went after me a lot more than that.
President Trump uncharacteristically empathetic today after repeatedly throwing the Clintons under the bus when previously asked about the Epstein investigation. But now committee Democrats say Clinton testifying sets the stage for Trump.
We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify.
With Republicans in charge of Congress's investigation, it's almost certain that won't happen. But they are considering calling in Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who recently acknowledged he visited Epstein Island in 2012, years after Epstein was first charged for soliciting a minor.
We're going to continue to, ask questions of everyone that shows up in photos on the island and things like that.
During his interview, Clinton was asked if he thought President Trump should testify. He reportedly said Trump never said anything to him to imply he was involved. The committee's top Democrat disputes that and told reporters to wait for the transcript to be released. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox Chicago.
All right, the bidding war for Warner Brothers Studios seems to be over. Netflix has dropped its bid to buy the studio. It had offered $72 billion, but the company now says the deal is no longer financially attractive. Reuters is reporting Warner Brothers signed a $110 billion deal with Paramount. The deal combines major assets, including CNN and CBS, could really reshape the media landscape. Well, if you have State Farm driver's insurance, you might be able to get some money. The company is paying $5 billion to nearly 50 million drivers. So on average, you can expect $100, but that's $100 more than you had before. This is the largest payout in the company's history. State Farm says it's able to do this because it made more money than expected, so it has the opportunity to send that money back to you, the customers, instead of shareholders.
Well, introducing the first ever passport to Illinois. This is from the Illinois America 250 Commission in honor of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There's nearly 60 monuments, museums, historic markers, and parks for you to explore. You can pick up the passports in person in public libraries and some other spots, or you can download it online. You are going to see people freezing for a reason in Lake Michigan this weekend. How are they going to pull this off? I don't know if it's cold enough for this, but I guess the water is cold, so that works. The Polar Plunge for Special Olympics Illinois is back this Sunday. There was another polar plunge set for last month. That one was hosted by the Chicago Polar Bear Club, but they had to cancel it because at that time it was dangerously cold.
Oh, yeah. You know what I heard?
What you heard?
I heard someone might do the plunge live Sunday on Good Day Chicago.
Really?
Did I hear that right, Mark?
Who would that be?
You. I thought I heard you were going to do it.
I don't know where you heard that from.
Sylvia told me.
Yeah, I don't think that will be happening. I don't think that.
Absolutely not.
I think my voice would
be
go
working.
Too many. Yeah, I'm going to be here working in this nice warm studio. Plus, I have done that more than once in the past. I am a veteran. We have, and you know, I got to tell you, it will be cold this weekend. We've got temperatures in the 30s. That'll be cold enough to you. You're invited to come out. We would put a camera on a little helmet for you as you went up. Winds out of the southwest, gusting at times up over 20 miles per hour. Still breezy. Those breezy conditions continue this evening, although the winds slacken a little bit as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. Looking down the shore, some sunshine there. I don't know what, that's a picture of the park. Nice. We've got warm conditions slated for the next 2 weeks. Our temperature trend will be above average, and that keeps us in the 40s and 50s with some 60s in the extended forecast. I'll tell you about that coming up.
Right for you.
I mean, just look at this behind us. We start off with across America and South Florida, a massive wildfire is still burning in the Big Cypress National Preserve.
Yes, now over 30,000 acres with zero containment. The fire is burning near the state's detention center known as Alligator Alcatraz. No word on exactly how this started, but the EPA says it was caused by humans.
Where's he at? That's gonna be about the gist of what he's right there. Yeah, he's right there.
Wow, a guy in Florida stuck in the mud for several days. Yeah, he was buried right up to his neck, so he couldn't get out. Mud like this can act as quicksand. Crews from several cities had to lay down ladders and pallets to stand without sinking right into that mud and had to dig him right on out. He was freed and flown to a trauma center in critical condition.
The woman convicted of stowing away on a flight from New York to Paris in 2024 has done it again, apparently. This is video of her sneaking past the security checkpoint. During that misadventure, multiple reports say Svetlana Dali was arrested in Milan, Italy yesterday after sneaking onto a United flight out of Jersey. Apparently, no one noticed her until the plane was well underway. The FBI says Newark is aware of the alleged stowaway. It's working with the Port Authority and TSA. No word yet on what charges she might face.
A judge in Milwaukee has had enough of his courtroom smelling like Mary Jane. We're talking about marijuana. During a sentencing hearing, he pointed out the strong smell, saying the courthouse smells like it every day. Drive around Chicago, you'll smell it too, despite the no smoking sign seen throughout the building there in Milwaukee.
The hallway outside my courtroom smells like marijuana. Awful ton of marijuana. And anybody that thinks it's a good idea to get high before you come to court really needs a reality orientation.
The courthouse, go ahead.
Maybe it's for their anxiety.
Maybe because they're going to court.
Yeah.
True. The courthouse, including all public areas, is smoke-free under Wisconsin law. That's the problem. If you are caught, you could face penalties, including a fine up to $250.
All right. Is a large coffee just not big enough to satisfy your need for caffeine? Look at this. Dunkin' Donuts may have the solution. This girl on TikTok is going viral after she posted a video of the coffee chain's latest test concept. That is a 48-ounce bucket of iced coffee, y'all. It's currently only available at some stores in New England, but if it does well, it would expand nationwide. It's actually kind of a deal. One bucket costs $8. Is this safe? In case you're wondering, the average human stomach only holds about 32 ounces of liquid, but how much caffeine is in that?
I don't know. If you're drinking it, stay away from me because you're probably too charged up.
Wow.
All right, well, read this one, Terrence. You'll get a load out of this one. This vanity license plate in New York has been the center of controversy for a few weeks now. It reads, "Pee before we go." The State's Department of Motor Vehicles pulled it last month, calling it objectionable. The guy fought back, posting online in part, quote, "Have we inflamed the very soul of toddlers everywhere, struggling against all odds to hold it in, other than to evoke a smile, a passing thumbs up, or a wink and a nod from motorists and pedestrians alike? Where is the groundswell of objection to the public display of benign jest?" He went way too far with all that. But he just got some good news. The governor there saw his viral post and told him he can keep his plate. Pee before we go. Some good advice.
I'm going to be honest, his little statement sounds like ChatGPT. Okay, free parking at one mall is now a thing of the past.
Read it, because I can't.
We're not talking having to pay for a spot up close, but having to pay for any spot. We'll tell you where. And should Illinois have an official sandwich? Yes. Which one? A state lawmaker wants to bear the title.
Yum, yum. We'll be right back.
He said inflamed. He said benign.
Well, you already know it, but we're going to tell you again, nothing is free these days. And at one suburban mall, that even includes parking your ride.
Yeah, Casey Cronus has details on the change that is leaving a lot of people frustrated.
Shoppers who frequent the fashion outlets of Chicago know and love the fact that parking has always been complimentary, but those days are over. Free parking at the fashion outlets used to be a perk, but now it comes with a price tag. Effective immediately, shoppers get the first hour free, no questions asked. After that, they can get up to 3 hours free if they spend $100 and have their ticket validated. Without validation, parking will cost $13 for 1 to 3 hours, $20 for 3 to 12 hours, and $50 for 12 to 24 hours. The system, operated by Metropolis, is ticketless and cashless.
So the process is you drive into the parking garage and the gate opens. You don't have to pull out a ticket. So that part is easy, but then you have to scan a QR code.
It runs on license plate recognition technology, but shoppers will still need to input their plate number and payment information after scanning the code.
And I'm already have an account there, so it should have just been really easy to pre-populate, but it wasn't easy.
You'll receive updates by text about your parking session. Some customers were surprised by the change and say they're still trying to navigate the new system.
I used to live here for 7 years, and basically it took me about 5 minutes to get out because it was a rental. I don't remember the license plate number. Came out of the gate, boom. It used to be free, so that's why I actually came here.
A spokesperson for the mall's owner, Macerich, says in part, this update is designed to ensure convenient access for our guests while maintaining a positive overall experience at the center. The program prioritizes parking availability for our shoppers and discourages overnight event and airport parking. Rosemont Mayor Brad Stevens tells me he isn't completely sold on the idea of charging shoppers for parking in the suburbs, but says the decision rests solely with the owners. Reporting in Rosemont, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
I mean, I get people's frustration, but still a lot of people shop more online these days than actually going to the mall. So
but that mall is jumping, so they're going to get some money, or people going to get some tickets, I guess, if they don't pay.
Well, you know what happens?
You pay up.
Yeah.
It just takes, a couple bad apples, spoiling for the rest of us. People are parking there and then going to the airport.
I've heard that before.
I learned today.
I've heard that before.
Going to Cancun for 2 weeks.
That's a lot of nerve.
Coming back and not even buying a T-shirt there.
At least buy
Cancun, not at the mall.
Buy a T-shirt.
You parked there for 2 weeks. Why not? All right. I'm going to be parked at home this weekend because, no, I'm going to actually be parked here. Because look at this. Temperatures in the 30s, 38 degrees tomorrow, 32 degrees on Sunday. And I got to tell you, we have a chance of snow both days, Saturday and Sunday. Now, here's why I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. First of all, tomorrow, the snow is mostly across Wisconsin. It's just a little bit that's kind of slide over the Illinois border, and especially the northwest suburbs could see a little bit of light snowfall. And then on Sunday, I think that snow is going to stay well south of Interstate 80. Then after that, look at this. We are in the 40s, and then we are in the 50s, and then we are in the 60s. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. In fact, over the rest of the week, it's not much sunshine at all. There's a lot of rainfall coming our way, or at least chances of rainfall as we go Tuesday. Chance of rain. Wednesday, a chance of rain. Thursday, a chance of rain. And Friday, a chance of rain. But at least it's rain and it's not snow. The snow tonight, limited to the Dakotas, limited to New England, a little bit of light snowfall there. Beautiful shot as we look out over the lake here, a little purple haze off in the distance. Actually, that's a sun reflecting off of some cloud cover that is, in fact, it's reflecting off these clouds right here. A Futurecast shows we do have a couple of shots of some precip. I'll tell you more about that coming up in a minute.
All right, Mark, thank you. Right now we have to tell you more about the breaking news we told you about at the top of the show, a CTA crash in Bronzeville.
Leslie Moreno is live on the ground there at the scene. Leslie, what can you tell us about what happened there?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, I can tell you this was a crash involving a CTA bus and a vehicle. 20 people injured, at least 15 were transported to a nearby hospital. That bus still here behind me. If you look closely, you can see that cracked windshield there in front of the bus. There appears to be from the impact of that crash. All of this happened just after 4 p.m. This is along East Pershing and South King Drive. At this time, it's unclear how this all happened, but again, 20 people were injured. 15 of them were transported to the hospital. We're told 5 of them refused medical attention. At least 1 of them, we're being told, is in serious condition. This is all according to the Chicago Fire Department. We just spoke with a man who was in the back of the bus. He says he braced for impact as he watched that vehicle coming towards him.
I was actually in the back of the bus, and when I looked up, I seen the car coming and the bus going out and collage. That's all I seen, to be honest. I was all the way in the back of the bus.
We're told there were 20 people that were injured?
Yes.
What can you tell me about the injuries?
Some of them are major and minor. Yeah, there was a lot of people that just left. Young kids is just getting out of school, they just left. Most of them. When you see the cameras, there's probably about 50 or more people on there.
That man is thankfully okay tonight, but again, 20 others were injured at this time. It's unclear how this crash happened. Police are still here on scene investigating. We are waiting to get an update on the status of those 15 and 20 other victims. As soon as we have that info, we'll have that for you both on air and online. We'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Leslie, thank you for that update. We'll be right back.
Message.
Wipe me
watching
down.
the Greeks do their step thing. Well, Black Greek fraternities and sororities brought the energy to a Westside high school today. This is part of North Lawndale College Prep's D9 takeover. What was that?
Wipe me down.
You did that. Yeah, there were classroom sessions and scholarship advice and a step show performance, ending the day to show students the traditions of Black Greek life.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, guess what just happened? State Rep Rick Ryan stepped up talk at Pop's Beef and said he wants Italian beef to be the official sandwich for Illinois.
Yeah, he filed a bill to make it all happen, and it already has bipartisan love.
I think my mouth is watering. I'm hungry. The bill cleared its first big hurdle. Next, it faces a full House vote. For Ryan, this bill hits home. He says it brought him back to his grandma, to the South Side, to the family table. Listen to how he tells it.
I still remember sitting in her house in Oak Lawn and playing pinochle with my sisters, and the Italian beef was in the pot simmering, and she would be cooking it all afternoon. And you know, I can, that smell brings me back to my childhood of the Italian beef, and it's just my favorite thing to eat in the world.
First, the House votes in the spring. If it passes, the Senate takes it up. If they say yes, the bill goes to the governor. Italian beef only becomes official if he signs it. Now, a question I had, and I just looked up the answer. Does any other state have an official sandwich? And only one. Massachusetts recognizes the Fluffer Nutter as its state sandwich.
I don't like the name.
Peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. I'm good on that.
And I don't like the name. They need to change the
I'm
name.
good on that. Give me
Fluffer
Italian
Nutter.
beef any day.
Give me one of those Fluffer Nutters. Just a weird thing to say.
All right. It was beautiful outside. A lot of people were stuck at work. And of course, this weekend, the temperatures are dropping way down.
Yes, the good news is a longer warm-up could be coming next week. Mark has his full forecast right after this break.
Love it.
I'm Tina Wynn, next in sports. Down in Champaign, a top 10 matchup, number 3 Michigan against number 10 Illinois. The Illini look to keep their unbeaten streak alive against Michigan. 9 straight wins there dating back to December 2019. A preview of this game next in sports.
Eastern on Fox.
We're still stuck on the fluffernutter sandwich.
We are. Okay, go ahead, Terrence. You read it.
NASA sharing future plans for its Artemis missions. Let's start with Artemis 2, set to launch in a few weeks with the goal of carrying 4 astronauts around the moon. Artemis 3, which is designed to land astronauts on the moon's lunar south pole by 2028, is now expected to launch in 2027, but without a moon landing. The actual landing will now be, are you ready, for the Artemis
4 mission.
Okay, this weekend, a rare cosmic show will light up the night sky. 6 planets will line up across the sky, and you will be able to see most of them without any gear. The Adler says tonight will actually be your best chance to catch a glimpse.
So around 6 p.m., go outside, face west, and very low to the horizon. If you have any buildings or trees or whatever in the way, you're going to need to get to a spot where you can see near to the horizon. A bright dot, that's Venus. Up and to the right of Venus a little bit is Mercury. Up and to the left of Venus a bit is Saturn. Over to the southeast, you'll see Jupiter. You might have to wait a little bit after 6, like 6:15 or so, to have Jupiter pop out and be visible. But you may have heard that Uranus and Neptune might be there too. They're there, but you have to know exactly where to point a telescope in order to see them.
Oh, fluffer.
Okay, so by the way, next Tuesday, you will only be able to see a total lunar eclipse in Illinois, but you will need to get up early. The full hour of totality begins at 5 in the morning.
I want to
watch
see
Good
it.
Day Chicago and watch that at the same time.
Yeah, you could, for sure. All right, Mark. Oh, fluffernutter. We got to talk about the weather.
Hey, stop that right now. Those nicknames stick sometimes.
It's sticking in my head.
I'm going to get some bread, marshmallow fluff, and peanut butter on my break, and we're going to try it out.
Try the sandwich.
Okay, let's
We'll
try
try it next Friday.
Okay, we can do that too.
We'll do it next Friday.
Okay.
We'll try it next Friday.
I'm just sticking with peanut butter and jelly. I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay.
I'm going to stick to the same forecast I had earlier, which was cool temperatures. Temps in the 30s coming up this weekend for daytime highs. That's after overnight low temperatures tonight down to around the freezing mark. And then tomorrow, upper 30s. That's after today. We had temperatures mid and upper 60s today. So quite a contrast coming our direction, coming up over the next 24 hours. And it's going to be cold again on Sunday. In fact, even colder with temperatures only around 32 degrees on Sunday. But there is this. The 7 to 14-day outlook calling for deep red, which indicates the trend will be for well above average temperatures. We hit 65 today. 40 is the normal daytime high temperature. We're at 64 right now. Winds out of the southwest at 11 miles per hour. Our skies right now are clear to at times partly cloudy. Temperature 60 at the lakeshore, 57 degrees now. Woodstock 63 at Kankakee. Ottawa now at 65. Here's how we look as we take you through the weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday only in the 30s, but by the time we get to Monday, those temperatures pop up to about 40 degrees. Cool front dropping through tonight. That's why we go from the 60s today to the 30s only for tomorrow. We stay dry overnight tonight, but this is 10:30 tomorrow. Forecast models bring in a little shot of snowfall, but this is not for the south suburbs. Most of the snowfall should be up across Wisconsin, but a little bit of light snowfall possible from the city northward. And you can see on the southern belly here, there's actually a little bit of rain that could mix in with some warmer temperatures. Then as we advance towards Sunday, we'll keep an eye on what's going on out to the south and to the southwest. Some snow driving in across parts of western Illinois. I think most of that's going to stay south of Interstate 80. So it's a very good possibility that if you're in the city west, city southwest, you may go by without seeing any snowfall this weekend. We'll let you know. I'll be here tomorrow morning to give you an update. 38 degrees. Tomorrow for your daytime high, north-northeast winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour, mainly cloudy skies. I'll keep a 30 to 35% chance of some snowfall into the north. And then on Sunday, about a 25% chance of snowfall. Again, that should be well to the south of the city. 32 the high temperature. Monday, let's go to 40. Monday looks dry. Monday night, I think we'll see some rain, or at least a chance of rainfall. And after that, look at this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way across the board, we've got shots of rainfall, chances of rainfall. The good news is no shoveling here. We've got temperatures pushing out of the low 40s into the upper 40s and into the mid 50s by the end of the week. And not only do we have chances during the day, but virtually every single overnight period, there's a shot of some rainfall as well. Guys?
Mark, thank you. A top 10 showdown is taking place in Champaign. The Illini getting ready to host Michigan.
Illini fans were lined up outside State Farm Center hours before tip-off. Tina Nguyen is obviously here to talk about this. This is a big matchup. It's happening right here on Fox Chicago at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yes, it is. Again, as you mentioned, Terrence, a top 10 showdown here. Number 3 Michigan against number 10 Illinois. And as you mentioned, yes, students have been lined up as like super early in the morning out there at State Farm Center. But really good game here tonight and a lot on the line here, especially for both teams when you look at going into March. Seeding for the Big Ten tournament, for the NCAA tournament as well. Illinois, though, they are 0-3 in overtime games. They're coming off of a loss to an unranked UCLA team. They desperately need a win here, and obviously a win over Michigan, who's ranked number 3, would be a huge statement. But guys, I'm all here for home field advantage because I expect a very hostile crowd there inside State Farm Center down in Champaign, Illinois. So this is going to be a really, really good one. Michigan, by the way, Illinois, they've got a 9-game win streak over them, so they're looking to keep that alive.
Let's hope they do it.
How can they? Can they? You think they can keep that alive tonight?
I've got some. I will say I give the edge a little bit to Illinois here. I think being at home is really big for them. But you look at both of these teams, they can certainly score. Although Michigan, defensively, they play with such physicality. But you look at Illinois, especially if they can really get things going and really click offensively, they have a ton of firepower, in large in part because of the freshman, Keaton Wagler. He was someone who wasn't recruited a lot coming out of high school, but he's become one of the best stories in college basketball here, averaging nearly 20 points. But I think another big thing for Illinois coming into this game, they're pretty healthy. They got Kylan Boswell back, Andre Stojakovic as well. And speaking of Andre Stojakovic, we got the chance to catch up with him yesterday. Here's part of our conversation.
Yeah, it's a game that, we've obviously prepped for most of this week, and we are very excited. Top 10 matchup. One of those teams you get excited about playing from the moment the schedule comes out. So obviously this means a lot to our program, our fans, and play our game, stay poised. Obviously, basketball is a game of runs, so just play our brand of basketball, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
You guys are going to be back home there, defending home court. How much of a factor are you expecting that home crowd to be?
Yeah, I think every game that we've had, our home crowd has been an advantage for us, and we're looking forward to playing in front of them once more, so it'll be an exciting atmosphere.
Well, Andre is the son of NBA champ Peja Stojakovic. Peja was known to have one of the best jump shots of all time, played 13 seasons in the NBA. Obviously, I mentioned NBA champ with the Mavs back in 2011, as well as a 3-time All-Star. Meanwhile, the NFL Combine has been happening all week long down in Indy. We've got all the Bears coverage coming up on the offseason with Cassie Carlson. Here's a quick preview.
Ian Cunningham getting the GM job for the Falcons.
Yeah.
He said he wanted everyone to give you crap about your tan because you got to enjoy vacation. And
This guy. We just want really good football players, guys that love football, are passionate about football.
And the Bears are in win now mode, without question. But
They were last year.
But it's not now or never mode.
None of us should be satisfied. We didn't get to our ultimate goal.
What is the window for the Bears, in your belief?
Unlimited. And I mean, there has not been a franchise quarterback on the Chicago Bears since Sid Luckman.
I expect them to be aggressive in terms of player acquisition in this offseason.
And you can stream the latest episode of the offseason with Cassie Carlson on Fox Local at 6 p.m. or watch it on Fox Chicago after the 9 p.m. news. Guys, we are expecting a huge viewing audience for this Illinois and Michigan game. By the way, we do have a post-game show. We've got Illini legend Kendall Gill coming into our Fox Chicago studios to join us as well. So super excited for it.
It's a big deal.
Nice.
Yes, it is.
Also, the music that you guys have in the sports department.
I know you're vibing.
Nice.
You're vibing.
Yeah, about to drop a beat, about to drop a bar.
We don't want it.
Drop a bar.
We're not ready for it. All right, Mark has one final check of the forecast when we come right back. Stay with us.
Ciao.
responsible for the content of this ad.
All right, not too shabby outside. I mean, there's a lot of. I saw a lot of people today downtown.
It's Friday, but the weather helped with that.
For sure, definitely.
People were out on the lakefront too, running this morning.
Wearing shorts.
Can't wait.
Don't do that tomorrow.
Summer will be here soon, folks.
38 tomorrow, 32 on Sunday. Then we get a little better temperature-wise as we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We go from the 40s into the 50s. And then I showed you earlier this 10-day graph, which had some 60s in there as well. So that's all good. Now, here's the one thing you may not like about next week's forecast. Every day. Every day.
Do we need it? Do we
Every
need
day.
rain?
We really do. We could really use some groundwater recharge. We're below average. We need some good spring rain.
A little dry out there.
Yes, it is.
All right.
That's why I got the big hair. I'm prepared.
Thanks for joining us at 5.
And now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
We'll see you right back here tonight after the Illini game.
What did your hair have to do with
Because then if it swells, it doesn't matter. Precipitation.
Oh, right.